Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Right now at 5, 2 homicide investigations overnight in the Bakersfield area, putting April off to a deadly start after a record number of killings last year. We are live with the latest on the investigations, plus a look at our own homicide tracker. Plus, we are learning more about the mass shooting in the city of Orange Wednesday that killed 4 people, including a little boy. What we know about the suspected shooter's relationship with the victims. Plus, as the first round of the vaccinations against COVID-19 continues, research is turning to the possibility of booster shots. Will we need them? And when? What a company in California already working on creating one is saying on this Friday, April 2nd, 2021. Good morning, Kern County, and thanks so much for starting your day with us on this finally Friday. We finally made it through another work week. And boy, has the last couple of days really felt like spring. Oh my goodness. Even some parts of the day feeling a little toasty.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just Friday either, Alex. It is Good Friday, so kicking off the weekend of Easter celebrations, and it is beautiful outside for heading out and doing any sort of those celebrations and Easter egg hunts and that sort of stuff that is coming up this weekend. Let's check out your forecast. I know it has been inching up there in the 80s. We haven't touched 90 yet quite, have we, Kev?
No, so close, so close. We did, though, break a record yesterday. It was record-breaking heat, and we talked about we were going to be very close. So what was our high temperature? Well, take a look, and you'll see we were in the upper 80s. 89 degrees was our high yesterday. The old record, 88, and that was set back in 1966. Right now, we've got clear skies around the area, 60 degrees, an east wind at 3 miles per hour. And you can see throughout the day, we'll be rising near 90. So possibly breaking more records. As we take a look at the Tehachapi area, and you can see just a light wind, no major winds right now, just out of the north at 3 with a temperature of 48. And throughout the day today, we're looking at a warm day for you as well with mid-70s on the board. I'll have much more in your forecast coming up in just a little bit. For now, we'll send it back over to you.
All right, thanks so much, Kev. Breaking overnight, 2 homicide investigations in the Bakersfield area. On only the second day of the month, these crimes have April off to a deadly start. And after seeing a record number of homicides in 2020, we're on track to beat that number of killings this year. 17th Ileana Capellan is live from the scene of the latest homicide investigation in Southwest Bakersfield. Ileana, good morning. What can you tell us?
Good morning, Maddie. The investigation was taking place at this apartment complex just off of Real Road and California Avenue. You can see behind me the scene is now cleared, but we are at the Sonder Park Villas apartment complex. All police would say is that this investigation is being handled as a homicide, and more information would be released later today. The coroner's office was here, but at this time, they've also cleared the scene. By our count, there have now been 28 homicides so far this year. That exceeds the number we saw by this time last year in 2020, a year that turned out to have the most homicides Kern County has ever seen, 139. With several death investigations still pending from March, we look to be on track to meet or beat last year's number of killings. We track each and every killing here in Kern County. You can find in-depth information on our victims or where the homicides happen on our website, kget.com, or just click on the homicide tracker. Here in Southwest Bakersfield, that's all the information that we have right now. But in Southwest Bakersfield, Ileana Capellan, 17 News. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Juliana. And as we mentioned, that was one of 2 new homicide investigations overnight in the Bakersfield area. Just a few hours earlier, Kern County Sheriff's deputies were called to another homicide investigation. We first brought you this story as breaking news last night on 17 News at 11. According to the Sheriff's Department, they got a report of a shooting around 9:50 last night in the 300 block of Cottonwood Road near Feliz Drive. The victim, a man, reportedly suffered major injuries and died on scene. No information about what led up to the shooting or who the shooter was. We'll keep you updated on both of these incidents as we learn more.
Now to new information on a homicide investigation in Wasco. Deputies were called to the area to an orchard on Western Avenue just north of Poso Avenue after a farm worker discovered the body of a man last night. KCSO says the victim was found on a dirt road and had obvious signs of physical trauma. KCSO has not released any further information about the victim or a suspect. If you have any information, call KCSO at 861-3110. Another man is still fighting for his life after a shooting in Wasco Wednesday night. It happened on North Maple Street just before 9 p.m. Anyone with information is asked to call the Sheriff's Office at 861-3110 or Secret Witness at 322-4040.
Your time now is 5:05. A pursuit through Northeast Bakersfield ended with a crash and a woman under arrest on suspicion of driving under the influence. It all came to an end here at Potomac and Mount Vernon Avenue. According to the Sheriff's Department, deputies tried to pull over that driver on Highway 178 just after 6 last night for a traffic violation, but she refused to stop and got off the freeway at Mount Vernon. KCSO says the driver then ran a red light and hit another vehicle at Potomac. The driver, 29-year-old Kimberly Juarez, was arrested on numerous charges, including possession of a stolen vehicle and DUI. The driver of the car that was hit was not hurt. From our 17 follow-up file this morning, police are trying to identify the driver who left the scene of a deadly crash believed to have been caused by street racing. It happened early on March 17th. According to court documents, 3 cars were racing east on Panama Lane at speeds that reached an estimated 107 miles per hour. 2 of the vehicles, a Maserati and Cadillac, crashed near Stein Road. The Maserati's driver, 29-year-old Antoine Washington, was thrown from the car and died at the scene. The 3rd vehicle, a Dodge Challenger, left. The registered owner admitted the car was involved in the incident and said he was a passenger, but he refused to identify the driver. Anyone with information should call BPD at 327-7111.
Well, it appeared to have been a World Series hangover for the Dodgers yesterday during opening day after a sloppy loss. Los Angeles faced the Colorado Rockies yesterday for the first game of the season. After 2 errors for the Dodgers during the game, the Rockies took the win 8-5. All 30 MLB teams played for opening day yesterday. Now only 15 have perfect records. All right, let's take a look at the other California teams. The Angels and Padres were the only teams in the state that won yesterday. The Oakland A's and San Francisco Giants also lost the first game of the season. There are now 161 games remaining in the MLB for 2021. And your time now is 5:07, and it may be April, but March Madness continues, and we're down to the final 4 games. There are 2 games tomorrow. The number 2 seed Houston will face the number 1 seed Baylor at 2:14 tomorrow afternoon. And then tomorrow evening, a game many people are excited to watch. Number 11 seed UCLA versus number 1 seed Gonzaga. The winners of each game will advance to the NCAA championship set for Monday. And after a wild March Madness so far, anything is possible.
Your time now is 5:08. A big congratulations to a local Boys and Girls Club member who was named Coastal California Youth of the Year. This is Jesse Magdaleno in his video submission for the contest. Jesse's a junior at Highland High School. He's been performing as part of an elite Boys and Girls Club talent team called Music Fusion since he was just 8. In his video submission, he shared what the club has meant to him through the years.
The club has meant a lot of different things to me. When I was much younger, the club was the van who greeted me when he picked me up from school. The club was my group of friends hanging out doing homework. The club was Tuesday and Thursday nights, hanging out with the big kids, being able to rehearse our dancing and singing numbers. But most of all, the club was a place that happened every day at the same time with the same staff and the same friends. It truly gave me a place where I could feel safe and gave me something to look forward to.
Jesse's now an intern at the club, and through the pandemic, he's helped serve more than 4,000 meals a day to children through the Boys and Girls Club's Nutrition and Meals program. As part of the competition, Jesse gets a $2,500 scholarship, and this month he'll be competing for California Youth of the Year. Oh, congratulations. What an amazing guy.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back. Your time now is 5:23 on this Friday morning. And Kern County is one of California's leaders in renewable energy. In fact, we produce more, or roughly about a quarter, of the state's green power. And as we speak, more solar and wind companies are choosing to invest their resources right here in the Golden Empire, including one energy company that completed a brand new solar farm out in Rosemond. 17's Eitan Wallace trekked out to East Kern to tour the solar facility, bringing jobs to the local economy and power to the grid.
This is the Rosemond Central Solar Facility run by Clearway Energy. It generates enough energy to power thousands of homes and businesses. This aerial view shows just how large the farm is. 1,100 acres of solar panels upon solar panels upon solar panels. The 192 megawatt facility has the capacity to power 70,000 homes and businesses every year.
Think of it this way. This entire field is a giant battery.
Esworth Carty is the maintenance manager at this solar farm. Located roughly 15 minutes west of Highway 14, it is surrounded by empty land in the Mojave Desert.
Lots of planning went into it.
During an exclusive tour of the facility, Carty said all of this took roughly a year to build, employing more than 400 people in the process.
You have metal workers, you had electricians, you got guys who clear the area. So a lot of people, and all these people were in Kern County. So you have the hotels were benefiting, the restaurants are benefiting, other businesses are benefiting.
With the construction phase complete, 5 Clearway Energy employees remain here full-time. They are among 51 full-time Clearway Energy employees who work at one of the company's 5 solar and wind sites in Kern County. Across the U.S., Clearway employs 950 people at 365 wind and solar sites. The company says the Rosemond facility was designed with cutting-edge technology. What makes these panels so unique is they are bifacial, meaning they generate power from both sides, including when the sunlight reflects off the ground. Now, as you walk with me this way, you'll see they are mounted to a special table connected to a computer with an algorithm that allows the panels to rotate during the day to ensure maximum sunlight.
Our mission is to provide clean, affordable energy to everyone.
Julia Zuckerman is the head of external affairs for the West for Clearway Energy Group. She says the company helps Kern's bottom line, paying $20 million in property taxes to the county every year. On top of that, she says the company is helping to launch Kern into the next century.
Solar and wind have become the cheapest form of new energy, and they are really becoming the reliable, clean, affordable energy of the future. And at Clearway, we're excited to be a part of that.
The solar farm already has clients paying for power, including the Northern California city of Palo Alto.
Beautiful sunshine out here. So.
Back at the farm, this employee says he's grateful to make a contribution to the future of energy.
It's pretty awesome. But again, I'm just one part of the team. It's a team of us that make it happen, and we're doing our part for the environment.
Clearway Energy leaders tell me as they look toward the future, they plan to create more sites just like this one in Kern County. In Rosemond, Eitan Wallace, 17 News.
Well, roller coasters are back at Magic Mountain. Six Flags reopened the gates for season pass members yesterday after being shut down for nearly a year due to the coronavirus pandemic. Today will also be reserved for season pass members, but the general public can head down tomorrow. The park will also be enforcing social distancing and mask protocol, as well as spacing people out on the roller coasters. It has been in the works for years now, but it's still not on the hook. Bass Pro Shop confirms with us plans for its Bakersfield location have been put on hold. Slated to be built on a 100,000 square foot lot in South Bakersfield, right off the 99 as you enter town. The company says it is reassessing the project, but would not say it was outright canceled, only saying it, quote, "We may well proceed with the project at a future time." And this morning, Golden Empire Transit is expanding its on-demand ride service to new areas of town, which currently only serves Southwest Bakersfield residents. Starting on Wednesday, Get On Demand, formerly known as Ride, will be coming to downtown Bakersfield and parts of East Bakersfield. To book a personal ride, just download the Get On Demand app or call Get at 869-6380.
And just coming into our newsroom this morning, the March jobs report, and it is firmly beating economists' expectations. According to the U.S. Labor Department, the U.S. added a robust 916,000 jobs in March as hiring surged in a sign of a strengthening economy. Economists say that this is the strongest indication yet that the labor market is finally working its way back to pre-pandemic norms as the number of vaccinations continues to rise. The hiring and employment data, again, firmly beat economists' predictions for last month. 2 young migrant sisters are safe after a smuggler dropped them over a border wall. Here's Andrea Mitchell.
The images are disturbing and heartbreaking, all captured on nighttime surveillance video. A smuggler dangling a young girl over the border fence, dropping her 14 feet to the ground, then tossing over another child before abandoning them in the desert and running away.
How did these 2 little girls survive that drop? It is a miracle.
The girls are sisters from Ecuador, toddlers just 3 and 5 years old. Rescued by Border Patrol. El Paso Border Patrol Chief Gloria Chavez made sure they are uninjured.
They're just happy little girls. The 5-year-old acts like the responsible one, obviously, and is caring for the 3-year-old.
They're part of that record migrant surge at the border after President Biden allowed unaccompanied children to stay in the U.S. There are now more than 18,000 children in U.S. custody, more than 5,000 still held by Border Patrol, waiting to be moved to Health and Human Services care. Earlier this week, the administration allowing 1 news crew into this overcrowded Border Patrol facility in Texas. The children packed shoulder to shoulder in the middle of a pandemic. None of them get COVID tests unless they show symptoms, most brought over by smugglers like in that video.
It breaks my heart to see these 3-year-old, 5-year-old children just being treated like a commodity by these criminal organizations on the border.
And that was NBC's Andrea Mitchell reporting. According to Border Patrol, the children had a phone number in their backpack for their mother, who reportedly lives in New York, and they are working to get in touch with her and reunite them.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.